Hi everyone, this is Dr. Jimenez, and I'm recording this video because unfortunately, um, we were supposed to record our Zoom call this evening, which we had with a couple of students on Project One. And I was going to give you the playback of that session. And then I realized at the end of the call, at the end of the Zoom call, I did not click on the record button. So we never recorded the session. So to compensate for that, I am recording this video to at least give you the 15-minute abridged version of what we covered so that at least you have a frame of reference. But I am going to offer some time towards the beginning of week 4 for people to dial back in, ask questions, and you'll have some opportunities to ask me questions on this project. So if you have any questions, email me. In the meantime, let's jump into the brief 15-minute version that I can record using Screencast-O-Matic, which is a great tool to record for free for 15 minutes, a brief video on Project One. So, a couple things to note. Project One is due during week 7. And what that really means for you is on the last day of week 7, which is Sunday, because the week is from the school week in this case is from Monday to Sunday. Sunday night, which is March 10th at 11:59 p.m., that is when your paper is due. So you're going to hand in Project One by Sunday, March 10th at 11:59 p.m. And you're going to do that on Blackboard, and you're going to receive some instructions over the course of the next couple of weeks where you'll be able to know exactly how to do that on Blackboard. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about Project One. And for Project One, the way that I want to think about this from a very high level is you're going to basically write a 4-page paper. When I say 4 pages, what I'm really saying is you're going to have 3 pages of content and then a 4th page that will be your reference page that will contain all your references for the 3 other pages that you wrote. So in short, it's 4 pages total, but you have 3 pages of content, which we're going to get into, and the 4th page is a reference page. So what exactly are you writing in these 3 pages? Well, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to select 3 learning theories from any of the chapters that we've read to date. Now, since this project is due in week 7, that means that any chapter that we read in the Ormrod book through week 6, which by the way just happens to be chapter 6 in the book, anything from chapters 1 through 6 in terms of learning theory is fair game. You can select it. So for example, maybe in a couple of weeks when we get into social cognitive theory, maybe you want to talk a little bit about self-efficacy, or maybe you want to write, maybe your 3 topics are self-efficacy, self-regulation, and modeling. Maybe you decide you want to do a combination. Maybe you're going to talk about operant conditioning and behaviorism. You also want to talk about self-efficacy, and maybe you want to talk about constructivism. The point is, you can choose three topics that you want to do a little bit more research on. And what you're going to do then is once you've selected your 3 topics, which can be anything from chapters 1 through 6, you're then going to go and you're going to search for an article. And you're going to search an article using the NJCU database. Now, a couple of suggested best practices, because we did do this with some of your colleagues in the course. Keep in mind that you can go into the Guarini library, which again, you can do a search for njcu.edu/Guarini/home.htm, or you can go into our Blackboard site and you'll see a link for NJCU Guarini library. You can go into our library and access a variety of databases. Although you could search the WorldCat Discovery tool, which pretty much searches every single one of our databases and may give you way too much information to search through, which again, it's not a bad tool. It's actually a great tool that you can use, but if you want to narrow your search down to start with, You can actually search by database. You can do it by title or subject. I like to do things by subject. So I'll go into databases by subject. I'll choose education, since we're going to be focusing on education. And then some of the ones I like to use are Academic Search Premier. I also like to go into the ProQuest Dissertation Thesis database, although you're downloading theses and dissertations that are over 100 pages long. Sometimes they have some really great information, and I would encourage you to look at that because you can find some really good sources as well as references to other works that might be of interest to you. You'll, of course, have the Sage journals, Google Scholar, as well as your ERIC databases. So, go in, look at the database that works best for you. Academic Search Premier might be a good one to start with, just to get you started, as well as Google Scholar. But I would encourage you to go through all these databases because I find that certain topics, some databases might have more on other topics than others. So when in doubt, you can always go back home to the main part of the website and just do a WorldCat discovery search, which searches all of our databases from there. So having said that, you're going to find 3 articles. So let's say for page 1 of your project, you decide that you want to focus on self-efficacy, and you found an article on self-efficacy. What you're going to do is you're going to split the page in half. The first half of the page will focus on a summary of the article that you found based on your learning theory topic. So if you decided self-efficacy is the first topic you want to talk about, then your article should be about self-efficacy. You find it, you write a summary about it. Then the second half of your paper is where you are going to talk about integrating a piece of ed tech that supports your learning theory. So maybe there's a piece of ed tech that supports your, the theory of self-efficacy or the notions of self-efficacy. And it could be any kind of ed technology or educational technology. For example, it does not have to be an app on a phone or a tablet. It can be software, it can be hardware. It can be something that's in your classroom that is technology today, such as if you have robots or drones, if you use certain other tools. I think somebody brought up it's not Duolingo. No, this is a Duolingo tool. There are Class Dojo as another example. The point is you can look at a variety of technologies. Basically, you're going to explain how you would integrate this activity to support the learning theory topic that you're talking about. And that will be the other half of the page. So the first half of your first page is a summary on the article on your learning theory topic. The second half of the page is going to be on how you would integrate a piece of educational technology into a lesson that supports this learning theory. So that's the first page. The second page, you're going to replicate the same format and style, except now you're going to choose another topic. So maybe the first page was on self-efficacy, and maybe the second page is going to be on the role of modeling, as an example. So modeling is part of social cognitive theory, and let's say you found an article on that. So you're going to write your summary on social cognitive theory's notion of modeling. Then you're going to find a technology that you can apply, excuse me, and talk about how that technology could be integrated into a classroom or your learning place of learning. And you're going to explain how it supports your learning theory, in this case of modeling, based on the social cognitive perspective. And then you would do the same exact thing for the third page, except the third page would be another learning theory. So my point to you is, over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be reading about, we're going to complete our studies on behaviorism. We're going to get into cognitivism, which also includes constructivism and information processing. And then we're going to also get into social cognitive theories, where we'll talk about self-efficacy, regulation, as well as modeling. And these are just some of the topics that are available that you can choose from for your topic. So basically, to summarize, you're going to write me you're not going to write me, you're going to hand in a total of 4-page paper. Again, first page is on one article and one technology that focus on a specific theory. Page 2 will be on another theory. Page 3 will be on a third theory. And then your page 4 is your bibliography, your reference page. And again, it's important for you to make sure you go back and read the instructions on what we expect. The paper is an APA, but when you look at the rubric itself, remember that this is worth a total of 25 points. The majority of points is based on the topic, making sure that you cover all the content, that you follow the instructions, aka that you put in your article and you summarized it, as well as your, in this case, selected technology. That you're going to talk about how to integrate it using the learning theory provided. You're going to also include, in this case, certain formatting, making sure that the paper introduces the topic, there's supporting literature, etc. And then finally, making sure that you have proper grammar and APA, etc. So keep in mind that the content is the most important piece because it's worth the majority of the points, but please don't forget about grammar or APA or the formatting because those are pieces that are also relevant as well, and those points can definitely add up when needed. So with that, at the end of the day, you're handing in this document. You're going to hand it in. You can, save it as a PDF, upload it into Blackboard by March. I want to say March 10th at 1:59 p.m. But the short version of it is select 3 topics. By the way, you don't want to do a search on behaviorism because there's so many topics, right? But you can do a search on a subtopic within behaviorism, such as, in this case, operant conditioning, for example. Or maybe you wanted to do something such as punishment and rewards. Being that we're in behaviorism right now, those are topics that are top of mind, but we can talk about those, and find articles on them. Now, if you have any questions or issues as you're going through this, let me know. I am going to make some more office hours available for you so that if you have any questions, you can email me or call me through a Zoom call. But if you have any questions, let me know. We'll take it from there, folks. Thanks again, and sorry that I did not record the Zoom call. We had some really good conversation with your classmates. This will have to do for now, but in the meantime, email me if you have any questions. Enjoy the rest of your night and week. Thanks again, everyone.